So we got to get the concrete cut because we got to get some footers in for the lift. So we got to slice up the floor. Well, first we got to mock it out. Then we're going to slice it. Then we're going to dig it up. And then we're going to pour new concrete. Alrighty. Now remember I said no more projects until we get the shop clean. So I got a rough plan here. First things first, we got to get all tools put away and get all garbage out of the shop. I feel like that's an easy start, and that'll get us some bearings on a plan of what we got to do. So as you can see here, the shop is an absolute mess. This is a couple years of accumulation of just junk, garbage. The best way to describe it is I treat it like a truck stop bathroom. You get in there, you do your business, and you run out of there. Garbage is piled, tools are everywhere, dirt is on the floor, you name it, it's got it. And I have just become overwhelmed. This is unacceptable. I should have never let it get this bad, but here we are. We're going to get it figured out. So all this is going to get taken care of. We're going to move the old Chevy. We're going to move the dust extractor because that's going to be the lift bay down there. Then I got to put a truck in here, preferably a 4-door long bed, so we can get a proper spacing set up for the lift. Once we get that in a position that we like truck-wise, we mock the position of the lift bases, and then we cut out the floor, redo the concrete, let it set, and put the lift in.
You gotta tell us your height, weight.
9.
Yeah.
We need your age, social security.
How much you weigh.
So we're going to start with tool cleanup. I got tools freaking absolutely everywhere. I haven't been working much out of this box anymore. This is more for like storage, torque wrenches, overflow, big sockets and stuff. So I've been working out of this one because this is nice. It holds everything and it rolls around. So actually we got to get all this cleaned up because as I use stuff, I set it on here and it just stays there. I use this thing now, the old US General, as a power tool station. I don't have any charger set up on here. Usually all this stuff sits in here, but I've just been putting stuff on there and it's just a disaster. Alright, so welcome to day 2 shop makeover. We made some changes, we made some progress. I got the fans blowing because as you just seen, we sprayed some mold killer. Stinks like bleach in here. So anyways, here's what we got done. I got all the tools put away. Reorganized this section just a little bit. Dust extractor was along that back wall. It's on dolly, so we slid it over in this area just to get it out of the way. But honestly, now that we got the lift, the dust extractor is probably going because this bay here was either going to be a paint bay or now a lift bay. So now I'll use a lift way more than I will a paint bay. So dust extractor's going, lift bay in progress. So if you've seen on the time lapse, we started drilling some test holes just to figure out Initial plan was to get the concrete saw, cut in a 4x4 square. We have it all marked out. 4x4 go down like 16 inches or whatever and do new foundations for each lift post. But as we were drilling, we have over 5 inches of good concrete. Now over here, there is a crack. So we have a crack right here. Now bend pack specifications, I'm going by the book here, boys, just because. So they want you 6 inches from anchor point, 6 inches away from crack. So this is a main crack. There's a tiny surface one here, but either way, we're 6 inches from this one and, you know, over 12 away from that one. This back side's where all the main anchors are gonna be, and this concrete is perfect. We drilled back there on the corner because we were gonna cut this. Good depth. We got good depth on the concrete, so we're gonna roll with it. So that actually saved a ton of time because the foundation concrete, the new concrete, would have had to set up for 28 days minimum. This whole time I was under the impression of the concrete was too thin because we were initially going to put the lift up there, and these two garages here were different at the time. So I think this is the original one, so the concrete's a lot thicker over here than it is over there. And a base plate is just when the cables for each post run on the bottom instead of the top to help with lower height ceiling garages. So that's where we are. That's the update. That wall's looking a lot better. That wall was plastered with mold. We got a lot of mildew in here. So what I actually grabbed is this Dry Lock Extreme. I went with gray because the lower half of this wall is gray. It's probably not the same. We're gonna have 50 shades of gray down here, whatever. Extreme gray. And I got the old Harbor Freight texture sprayer. I watched some dude on YouTube run dry lock through the texture sprayer. Way easier than rolling. I'm not a big fan of painting with a roller, but I like spraying. Of course, Harbor Freight was out of the cheap one, so this one was 50 bucks. Whatever, I hope it works. So this is in the wide configuration. There's 2 width adjustments for this base plate. We are in wide because we have this extension and it's looking good. I'm gonna check squareness one more time with the laser, maybe a string. Check final distance and we should be drilling. burn, there's some paint. You gotta run at high PSI or it kind of spits out. Welcome to the third and final day of the TopGarage makeover. All right, so what we did, we got the lift installed, it's bolted, torqued, anchored, and we leveled it, and we wired it. It's fully ready to use. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm scared to put something on there. Only because we did all the work ourselves, meaning me and my dad. We followed Ben Pack's instructions to a T. But I'm still a little worried. I don't know why. So I got you off the tripod here. So what we did is we got the two lift arms coming into the center and we got a level on it. And we are close. We are just good enough. And to adjust those, there's a little cable nuts up in here. See that little all thread nut deal in the back? It's pretty straightforward. You just loosen one, tighten one, and figure out which way you're going, and then, you know, go from there. Also, I have the laser, and we lasered it. We're right on the bottom of the deal there, and bottom of it there. Because the lift arms, they kind of sag a little bit. I didn't know how precise we could get it off of those. But just to keep it simple, we put up the laser and we lasered it, and she's level. Now, shim wise, the floor over here dips pretty good. It dips off this way. So we had to shim the back. I got it shimmed in every location from the manual, and I guess it's good. I mean, I checked the torque twice. So it's time to put something on here. I got the C10 pushed way back. Oh, one other thing is we got to trim that mezzanine. So when laying this out, I wanted to keep the lift as far back as possible. That way, you know, when we're working on the front of something, the front won't be in this crack. Because this crack it dips down a lot, and dealing with the topside creeper or transmission jacks or engine hoists or something, I don't want to be fighting this. We had the room to push it back. We just have to trim that mezzanine off, because the bed of a truck will hit that. So yesterday did 2 coats of dry lock on the bottom half of the walls. So we should have no more water entering through the walls. It can breathe on the other side, and it looks so much better. All right, boys, well, we got a lift. That's how high she's gonna go. We could maybe go up one more lock on the lift deal, but we could rearrange some there's like a lot of foam insulation on the ceiling here. We could take that foam out, that might give us 2 inches, move a wire or two. So we could probably get one more lock. So what would that be? That would be, you know, a little better. But look, you got a chair, you go like this, bam, got the whole deal, dude. This was a freaking long time process to get a lift. We bought one before, it was too tall, didn't fit in here, needed a base plate. It was too cheap to buy a new one. Found this one on Marketplace. Great deal. Here we go. I am freaking pumped. So there you go. Shop makeover part 1 is done. Now part 2, I'm not sure when part 2 is coming because we got projects. But I'm gonna order a ton of lights and we're gonna blast this side with lighting. On the walls, on the ceiling, make this bay over here bright. I might even bring my other box and put it there. So get rid of these, this little toolbox here, move those out, put mine here. That way it'll be right there. But I like to keep mine mobile. So I don't know, there you go. I was definitely a little sketched out on the lift, raising it. I just have a fear of those anchors pulling out of the concrete. But this has been up here for 2 hours now, sitting, and nothing has moved. Everything's good. No cracks, no creaks, nothing. So, for trucks, you might just have to roll around on a chair, which is fine. That's fine, you know. Cars, probably go cars all the way up. This Cummins is very clean underneath. Aside from the exterior is borderline train wreck. Underneath, the frame is so clean, and it lived its life in the north. I don't know if the previous guy undercoated it. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? But it is very clean. Truck definitely has potential. Front main seal's puking. I don't know if it's the timing cover. I don't know. But something is just puking off the front of this thing. So, project for the lift. But all right, guys. Thank you for tuning in today on TopGarage Makeover Part 1. Yeah, we call it that. Whatever. You know, whatever. We're just down here. But I'll see you guys on the next one. And if you want a dust extractor, let me know. It's about 14 feet long. It's ready to go. But I'm pumped.